that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older.
It has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money.
Boxing legends all over the world are reacting with surprise and excitement as Manny Pacquiao announces his return to the ring at 46 years old. He will face rising star Mario Barrios. Pacquiao, an 8-division world champion known for his fast punches and non-stop energy, is stepping back into the spotlight years after his last fight. He's showing again that age doesn't stop him. As the news spreads, many boxing legends are sharing their opinions. Some admire Pacquiao's dedication, while others worry about the risks of fighting a younger and dangerous opponent like Barrios.
You named Manny Pacquiao, you clickbait in the name, he's 44 years old. Is there genuinely a chance of Manny Pacquiao versus Conor Benn? Have you spoken to anyone from Manny's team?
I mean, maybe I'm clickbaiting. Maybe watch this space.
And if the WBC clear Conor, do you still have to go to the British Boxing Board, or would they have to just be governed by whatever the WBC say?
No, I mean, ultimately, it depends on the ruling on the test.
Lawrence Okoli apparently has given up his UK residency, and I'm assuming it's for tax benefits in the UAE. Would you recommend that to any of the young fighters coming up? Is that a good idea?
I mean, it's a very cloudy situation.
Looking down the card, which fight do you think we're more likely to potentially see an upset? Because the bookies have got the home fighters quite big favourites.
I promise you, someone from the away corner will win tomorrow night.
Is there any chance that the Irish government may help you out with the funding for that venue, do you think, or is that completely out there?
Yeah, I think it's...
Manny Pacquiao's decision to return to professional boxing at age 46 to fight Mario Barrios has led to mixed reactions in the boxing world. Some people admire his passion and legendary career. Others are concerned about the danger of a comeback. At his age, Pacquiao is preparing to return nearly 4 years after his last match. UBC President Mauricio Sulaiman confirmed that Pacquiao will challenge current WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios in July 2025. This is allowed under WBC rules, which let former champions fight for titles after coming out of retirement. A delisted rule also used by Sugar Ray Leonard. The fight will be officially announced after Pacquiao finishes his Senate campaign in the Philippines on May 12th. Reports say Premier Boxing Champions and TGB Promotions have reserved the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas for July 19th, which is likely to be the fight date and location.
Which contemporary fighter do you most enjoy watching right now?
Out of the big-time fighters now?
Yeah.
Pacquiao looks sensational his last fight. Oh, it's sensational. No fighter, and you as my witness, that any expert, no fighter looks more sensational than Pacquiao looked the other night. Mm-hmm. No fighter, name a fighter looked more sensational than Manny Pacquiao did the night he fought.
Let me sneeze and say Floyd Mayweather. How do I sneeze and say Floyd Mayweather?
All right, hey, listen. Then that shows that you're a neophyte in boxing. You know nothing about boxing.
Well, excuse me?
Because no.
What? I ain't hear you, Mike. What'd you say?
That you don't know much about boxing.
Getting a little uncomfortable up here.
No one said who was better. I said there's nobody in boxing that fighting that looks sensational.
Sensational.
The way that Pacquiao did against Rios.
Joe Rogan, a well-known commentator and podcast host, has shared his concerns about Pacquiao's return. He said, "This is dangerous," pointing out the health risks for Pacquiao at his age. Rogan talked about how physically demanding boxing is and questioned whether it's wise for Pacquiao to return after being away from the sport for so long.
It's as if Manny Pacquiao, in the middle of his prime, said, "I am going to fight MMA." That would be insane. And he'd probably get his face kicked off. He'd probably get strangled, probably get taken down, strangled, and he would be helpless. It's a different skill set. There's so much more to MMA. To me, it's more exciting to watch.
Amir Khan, a former world champion and longtime friend of Pacquiao, has mixed feelings about the comeback. While he understands the big business side of the fight, Khan is unsure about the reasons behind it. He said he would be open to fighting Pacquiao himself if the money was right, possibly with support from top boxing figures like Saudi boxing leader Turki Al-Sheikh. Khan said, "If you can get someone like a Turki Al-Sheikh on board, then why not?" This shows how much financial support matters to him. However, he also feels it might be unfair for Pacquiao to return and fight for world titles. He said, "If Manny wants to fight for a world title, fine. But it's a bit unfair, isn't it? There are so many young fighters coming up. I really think we should give the next generation a chance, man."
And Manny got in touch with me as well. Manny was like, shall we do a fight? Shall we, like, he's quite serious about it. He was like, shall we make a fight happen? I go, listen, if you can get a funder, if you can get someone like a Turkey Yellow Sheikh on board, then why not?
There's no, I mean, that must be able to be made. That I mean, surely
you do that for the right money, right?
Massive. Look, we've had our best days, and I think a fight like that would definitely sell. I mean, Manny having a massive Philippine fan base, and all around the world really, and then obviously myself, I've got a decent fan base as well. So I think it will definitely sell, and people would like to see. You know, when people make comebacks. I mean, people always like to see them, see how the fight's going to be. And me and Manny are probably in the same position. We'd be both being retired for like 3-4 years. I think it will make a good fight.
And you're only 38 as well, I mean. So we've seen boxers older than that getting back into the ring. I mean, it's still at a good age where you certainly could box again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look at George Foreman, the late George Foreman. You know, he was a great champion, and he came back. I think he must have been in his late 40s when he come back and won a world title as well. So look, in boxing, it's always that one punch. And at the same time, though, guys, is that I look back and think, do I need to get back in the ring again? You know, we've always been prize fighters. I've always taken punches to the head. It could just be that one punch that hurts you, and you know, God forbid you get hurt and you can't spend good quality time with your family.
Khan also talked about a major fight with Pacquiao that almost happened. He said it didn't work out because of contract issues and problems with the money. He explained that middlemen and failed promises from investors, especially for a fight, planned in the United Arab Emirates, caused it to fall apart. Khan said, the fight didn't happen because Bob Arum said the investors in Dubai or wherever in the UAE couldn't get the money together and needed more time. Because of that, the fight never happened. Still, Khan is open to fighting Pacquiao under the right conditions. He said he would only return for a big fight against someone like Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather. Khan also said he's mostly done with boxing, and unless it's for a huge match, he doesn't feel the passion anymore. He said, I'm 90% done with the sport. I don't have the love for boxing anymore. To get motivated, it would only have to be Manny or Floyd Mayweather. Promoter Eddie Hearn also shared his thoughts on Pacquiao's return at 46 to face Mario Barrios. He respects Pacquiao's legacy and star power, but worries about fairness. In an interview, Hearn asked, should he be fighting for a world title? He believes it might not be fair to young fighters waiting for their chance. Hearn said title shots should be earned through regular activity in the ring. He added that while Pacquiao's comeback will bring attention and money, his long break and age could affect his performance. Hearn's view adds to the larger debate in boxing about how to respect legends while still giving chances to new talent.
It's a very contentious subject, like, you know, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like, we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, you know, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots. Barrios is not Crawford, you know, and that's why, you know, we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, like, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up, you know, and people were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benn is Boots, you know, but he still hasn't had those wins yet. So, you know, I like to see great fighters just slowly fade out of the sport, but also at the same time, if they feel good, if they feel they can be competitive, and there's a lot of money to be made, I also get it.
Mike Tyson once made a bold comment saying Naoya Inoue is better than Manny Pacquiao. On his podcast, Hot Boxin', Tyson called Inoue vicious and praised his powerful style in the ring. Inoue, nicknamed the Monster, has won world titles in 4 weight classes and is the undisputed champion in both bantamweight and super bantamweight. His sharp technique and 90% knockout rate show how dominant he is, while Pacquiao's achievement of winning titles in 8 weight classes is historic. Tyson's view highlights Inoue's clean record and disciplined style. This adds to the ongoing debate about who is the greatest pound-for-pound boxer. Terence Crawford has doubts about Pacquiao being one of the top pound-for-pound fighters, mainly because of the kind of titles Pacquiao holds. Crawford doesn't count the WBA regular welterweight title as a real championship. He believes only the super titles matter. Crawford said, "He's not a champion in my eyes. He don't have the super belt. That's the champion in my eyes." He also pointed out that Pacquiao lost his knockout power after agreeing to Olympic-style drug testing, which he had once resisted. On the Pound for Pound podcast, Crawford said, "That's me personally. When Floyd made it a point for him to do the blood test, he didn't want to do it. But when he finally did, he hasn't gotten a knockout since."
Manny's a generational, talented fighter, but I don't feel like, he did it on his own.
I don't think Pacquiao took steroids. Really, the Mayweathers questioned it and drilled him on it, and that made people pick a side. I can't say that means Pacquiao was on something. And the reason why is because Pacquiao may have been the most tested fighter of all time. He never failed a test. Floyd did. So you're talking about a situation where now you're just saying he's so good that he must be on something. But number 2, Crawford said Pacquiao was knocking everybody out until he took the test. That was a damn lie. Pacquiao power went down after he went up. Pacquiao didn't knock out anybody at welterweight. That had nothing to do with the test. He went up and he ain't knocked anyone out at welterweight. He knocked out Ricky Hatton. That was at 140. Floyd knocked out Ricky Hatton. So that doesn't say that Pacquiao had steroid power. He wasn't knocking out anybody. Yeah, he was beating them up.
When Pacquiao moved up in weight to fight Antonio Margarito in 2010, it was a bold and historic moment in his career. Even though he was much smaller, 6 inches shorter and 17 pounds lighter on fight night, Pacquiao used his speed and skills to win the fight. He weighed in at 144.6 pounds, well under the 150-pound catch weight, and likely entered the ring at about 148 pounds. Margarito, on the other hand, was around 165 pounds during the fight. After the match, Pacquiao admitted how tough it was, saying, "Amazing, I survived that Margarito fight. Night of the fight, I was 148 pounds. This win gave him the WBC Super Welterweight title and made him the only boxer to win world titles in 8 weight divisions."
15, remember that one. Pacquiao is now planning to run for president in his native Philippines this upcoming May. But Shannon, how will you remember Manny as a boxer?
Historically great fighter.
Good for you.
The only fighter to win 8 world titles. I mean, he started out boxing, he was 106 pounds, won a title at, I think, 112, and went all the way up to
108 first.
Went all the way up to 154.
It's impossible. It's just...
I don't believe, I feel very comfortable and said I don't believe we'll ever see that again, Skip.
We'll never see it again.
And it wasn't like he was fighting bums. When you go back and look at Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales and Oscar Larios and De La Hoya and Hatton and Cotto, Margarita, Mosley, Timothy Bradley, Mayweather. Skip. I mean, what do you got to say? He was a champion in 4 different decades.
Yep.
Fighter of the year. First ballot Hall of Fame. He's great.
Stephen A. Smith gave his thoughts on Pacquiao's retirement in a short video, showing great respect for the boxing legend. He talked about Pacquiao's major achievements, including winning titles in 8 divisions and leaving a big mark on boxing. Smith also praised Pacquiao for inspiring fans, not just with his talent, but also with his humility and hard work outside the ring.
Your thoughts on Manny Pacquiao's retirement?
One of the greatest fighters we've ever seen. Never ran from anybody. Had completely respected the sport of boxing. Was an ultimate champion. And I have to tell you, one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet on the planet Earth. I mean, when people, I want to say this real quick because I know we got to go because we got one more thing to discuss, Marcus.
Yeah.
When people talk about Manny Pacquiao and they say stuff like, well, he's fighting for money. I would like y'all to know that there are people who line up in the streets of the Philippines just to come get some money from him. He's very charitable.
Oh, yeah.
That's why money was compromising, because he's a giver. He's a special dude. I'm going to miss him.
Pacquiao's last professional fight was in August 2021 against Yordenis Ugas, where he lost by unanimous decision. Since then, he hasn't stepped into the ring. Promoter Eddie Hearn mentioned that long breaks can hurt a boxer's performance, especially as they get older. While Pacquiao's return shows strong willpower, boxing at a high level takes serious physical effort. At 46, it's much harder to reach top shape and beat younger, more active fighters. Still, Pacquiao's deep experience and smart tactics could make him a strong competitor again. His comeback fight with Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title in July 2025 shows his desire to stay at the top. But the result is still uncertain because of how demanding pro boxing is and the natural effects of aging. The boxing world has mixed feelings. Some fans are thrilled, others are worried. WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman defended Pacquiao's right to challenge for the belt, saying former champions can request title fights. This fight is not just about winning a belt. It's about Pacquiao's legacy. Known for his fierce style and never-give-up attitude, Pacquiao's return could prove his love for the sport. If he wins, he'd become the oldest welterweight champion ever, adding another big moment to his legendary career.
In a world title fight against the WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios. Date yet to be confirmed, venue yet to be confirmed, but it looks like it will be in July and in Las Vegas. Massive news announced yesterday by the WBC president, and you know, it was so out of left field. You know, Pacquiao hasn't fought professionally since 2021. That was 4 years ago. He was 41 at the time, and of course he lost to Yordenis Ugas, the very, very tricky Cuban fighter. Convincingly lost to Yordenis Ugas, and in that fight 4 years ago, as I say, 2021.
What do you think about Pacquiao's decision to return? Do you believe he still has the skills to fight at the highest level? Or should he focus on protecting his legacy? Share your thoughts in the comments below.